But I never considered getting into teaching full time. And it was simply because all the teachers I knew right from when I was in school up until the time I was making those decisions, they were poor. You can't afford to rely on paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. No, it's not a sustainable kind of life. And if you're a teacher, you're sitting on a gold mine, literally. Hi, my friend, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm sorry. My name is Grace Amoka, a Nigerian teacher living her best life and helping other teachers to do the same. Today's video is very, very, very dear to my heart, and as you've seen from the title, is for teachers majorly. And it's saying you will remain very poor if you continue this way. I have a background in engineering, and then I switched to education. And I remember while considering this switch, in the first place, why I never fully considered that, there was something here for me, considering what my passion was. I had always just loved to impart knowledge on other people, especially young children, but I never considered getting into teaching full time. And it was simply because all the teachers I knew right from when I was in school up until the time I was making those decisions, they were poor. And I've seen that this narrative has been driven down from generation to generation, and somehow we have accepted it as, that's our lot, that's our reality, and that's how our lives are going to end. But it doesn't have to be that way, because if you're a teacher, you're sitting on a gold mine, literally, with the skills that you have, the experiences you have. You're an expert at several things, but because you've embraced that narrative of I'm just a teacher, I'm limited to teaching within my classroom, I'm limited to, I have too many things to do in a day and I don't have time for other things. You've embraced a poor mindset. That is why you will remain in this state of poverty. I know many times we've heard things like poverty is a thing of the mind, but I'll try to explain what that means to you today. And I've started going into some of the reasons that you will remain poor. And I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to tell you what to do to switch that narrative for yourself and for generations coming behind you. The first thing you need to deal with is your mindset. Who are the people you're listening to? What are the narratives that you keep telling yourself? Because if you continue to tell yourself those things that keep you at your worst, that doesn't help you to maximize all that God has put inside of you, you're going to remain in this state, unfortunately. There's a story, and it's a real story, of a boy named Conrad Reed. And, his family, they were farmers. They lived close to the stream or the lake. I don't remember exactly what it was right now. And Conrad found this nugget, so it was just a random piece of metal, so he thought. And he picked it, and they used it as a door stop. You know how sometimes you have some doors in your house that are swinging back and forth, but you want to leave it maybe permanently open or permanently shut. So they were using that nugget as a door stop. And then one day a jeweler was passing by and saw that piece of thing and realized that it was a gold nugget. And that site where the Reed family became one of the first major gold mine sites in the US. So was the real problem that the Reed family was poor, or was it a knowledge problem that they had something but they didn't know what they had? Oh my goodness. They had something but they didn't know what they had. Someone I really love and admire, Steve Harris, he says, it is not what you do not have that limits you. It is what you have, but you don't put to good use, that actually limits you. And for us as teachers, we're bursting with brilliance, with skills, talents, experience, expertise, but we don't know what to do with them. We don't know how to go about, monetizing those skills. Whew, I'm getting a bit emotional, but yeah. And why is this conversation urgent? Inflation is not your mate. I mean, that's like the first surface level reason why this is urgent. The second reason is much more than getting out of poverty, because I strongly believe that poverty is such a spirit that the enemy uses to keep you down. And it's not just about you, it's about the next generation. A lot of people that are dwelling in poverty right now, I mean, their parents, they heard things like, oh, do you think money grows on trees? The child asks for money and you're making all this and immersing them deeper into the school of the poor. So this conversation is important, not just for you, but generations to come. So I'm going to take us through practical steps to financial freedom. Financial freedom is not just important because inflation is not, things are not going to change in the way that some of us expect that they change. Because even if your government wakes up tomorrow and decides that they want to give everybody $100,000, guess what? It's going to finish at some point. How can you become such a person of value that you enjoy endless streams of wealth coming in? Because it's possible. Being a teacher does not limit you. I've seen teachers, and I mean, thankfully, we live in such a time now where teachers, they're doing the most in liberating themselves out of that poverty bondage. Yeah. So I will give you 4 steps to financial freedom, very practical steps. And because I love to use acronyms so you never forget. And I'm going to use the acronym GROW. GROW. So you need to grow to be able to attain financial freedom. And what is G? G is grasp your gold mine. Grasp your gold mine. You're sitting on gold. And I'll ask you to do an activity right now. You can decide to pause this video and go ahead to do it, or just note it down somewhere and make sure you follow through with it. Grasp your gold mine. What's your gold mine? What's that thing that you there's an ikigai concept that I like to use to teach. It talks about what you love to do, what you're actually good at, what the world needs, and what people are willing to pay you for, where all of these 4 things meet. But how do you know what your gold mine is? For many of us as teachers, we're able to simplify very complex subjects to help someone understand. That is gold. Your ability to break down complex concepts, that is gold. Every day in your classroom, you're coaching and you're mentoring the students that you're working with. If you're doing your job very well, you're an excellent time manager. Because imagine that you're responding to emails, you're creating your lesson plans, your instructional resources, you're trying to give feedback to every single child. And some of us have tens of them. There was a time in my classroom, I had 135 students. I was working with 135 students. I was offering mentoring and coaching to them. I was supporting them in different ways. I was writing my lesson plans. I was attending meetings. So if you're doing your job well, there are skills that you already have. Organizing lessons, people management skills. Your students with their diverse learning needs and diverse personalities. Project management. What is a project? A project has a start and an end date. So identify that gold mine. And one of my other coaches used to say that we're usually the last people to recognize our genius. That's when we're not self-aware. So I'd also ask you to go to your family members, your friends, people close to you, and ask them, what do you think I'm good at? When the name Grace Amoka or whatever your name is comes to mind, what are the top 3 things that you think about? If you were to learn anything from me, what would you want to learn? If you were to pay me for anything, what would that thing be? So asking people around you that know you can help you to identify what that gold mine is. What are the questions that people usually would ask you? Oh, babe, please help me quickly edit this document. Oh, babe, please help me. The art on the wall of my class has dropped. Please help me just quickly do. All those things are pointers. So list them. Make a comprehensive list of all the things that could be your possible gold mine. That's the first one. That's G of grow. Grasp your gold mine. R is reach out and start small. You don't need to start with a grand business plan. Reach out and start small. Start offering people your service, your products. Nobody knows what you do. You can't complain that things are not working out for you if you have not reached out to anybody. Reach out. Don't be afraid to start small. Don't be afraid to start small. My first ever tutoring, when I started tutoring as a business, it was even face to face. I was paid 20,000 Nigerian naira. 20,000 naira per month. Today the story is different. Don't be afraid to start small. Dream big. Have a big vision for yourself. But by all means, start somewhere. Yeah? O is own your brand. There's loads of conversations around, personal branding. I mean, it's become such a rave. And someone I really admire has started talking about, building a legacy brand rather than just a personal brand that sounds like a sham. Yeah? So own your brand. What does your online presence look like? Do you even have an online presence? And this is not the video I'm going to be telling you, we're going to be arguing, should you have an online presence? Should you not have an online presence? Think about it as your portfolio. Think about it as building your portfolio. Start sharing tips. Start sharing resources. Start sharing insights. Start sharing your journey. Many times you don't believe in your expertise because you haven't even shared anything. So you don't even know how valuable you are. You don't know how much you carry because you're just sitting in your world doubting yourself. There are several platforms available for you today to share your genius. From your WhatsApp to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, there's Substack, there's Medium. There's just tons of places that you can share that gift with the world. What have you done in your classroom that has worked? Because every classroom is different. There's a lot for you to share. You have to see what you have and who you are as valuable. And finally, W, work your wealth. Work your wealth. I've seen teachers move from earning 6 figures to 7 figures, but it doesn't change their financial. They're still poor as far as I'm concerned because they have a bad money. They don't understand money. And of course, I'm not an expert in finances and money. I'm still on that journey, but I've gone a significant way on my journey. So work your wealth. How much do you know about managing money, about saving, about investing, about multiplying? So it's not simply about making more money. Are you able to multiply that money and make it work for you? Do you understand things like budgeting, investing? So financial literacy is not an option for you if you want to get yourself out of that poverty, that place of poverty. You have the ability, you have all it takes to change your financial story today. And I hope with these that I have shared, you take the first step in the right direction. You can't afford to rely on paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. No, it's not a sustainable kind of life. And you don't want to pass that down to your children and the people around you. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope it has helped you in one way or another. If you're not subscribed to this channel, I honestly don't know what you're doing. Please subscribe and please share this video with just one person who needs to hear all of this. You can't be the only one leveling up in your community. It's not going to be fair on you because everybody's now going to be calling you to ask. Imagine that you have your friends, all the people around you, you all are ballers. Like you're all balling. That's a great place to be. Thank you so much. I love you so much. God loves you so much more. See you on the next one.